The year is 2023. PBS Plus has just launched, bringing the world's streaming services to 4,387. How can anyone be expected to go through all this content? Fear not, loyal passengers. Captain Joe Shoes and his first mate Mez are here to travel through space and time to bring you the best nuggets pop culture has to offer. Strap in. It's time for the JoeMeZ podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 360 of the JoeMeZ podcast. I'm Mez and my co-host as always is
the magistrate of Caravan City, about to head to Columbus, Ohio for this year's PowerCon. That's right. And Captain Joe Shoes from the JoeMeZ podcast.
Yeah, you are, bud. You excited for PowerCon, bro?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but in past years, when I've gone, I should say the only one other time that I've gone, it was a He-Man convention, and yes, I was super psyched for that. It was He-Man panels, Masters of the Universe cosplay. Everything was Masters of the Universe. And when you walked into the hotel, even, there was Masters of the Universe decor and decorations promoting PowerCon, about how happy we were to be at PowerCon. And this year, I'm excited to an extent. Like, I'm excited to go out for the weekend and do something fun where there's no work involved. You know what I mean? Even the fun trips I get to go on, there's usually work involved. And this one, there's not. So I don't got to do anything except show up and have a good time. I have other friends that'll be there, obviously. The whole major crew will be there with their tables and the major bendies, exclusive bendies at this event, Gomez.
That's awesome.
An exclusive Matt, an exclusive Brian, an exclusive Mark, and an exclusive Pixel Dan.
That's right, the wrestling version of him. That's very cool.
So that'll be cool, and I'll get to see Pixel Dan. I do some of these He-Man live streams where we get together and we talk about stuff, but I haven't seen Pixel Dan in person since the last time I was at PowerCon, and we didn't even know each other back then. So this will be nice to say what's up and hello and some other people who I know are going. But I think all in all, I'm excited to see all the toys. I don't necessarily know if I'm hunting anything, but
you never know.
If I were in the market for something,
what's over there? What are we looking at?
Gomez, I've got a hankering lately.
Ooh, I can't wait. What we looking at?
I've got a hankering for some Filmation Ghostbusters.
Oh, really? Oh, I like this. What's going on? What's making you a little itchy here?
I've had this itch for a while. Back in like 2010, 2011, the early days of Netflix streaming, they had the Filmation Ghostbusters series was up. And I remember watching it back then, and I remember it from being a kid where I was like, holy shit, this version of Ghostbusters is awesome. It's got a monkey.
Yeah, who don't love that? It's great.
And I like that version way better than I like the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And it had a toy line at the time, but this was during one of those periods where my mom was doing the whole, we're not starting another collection. So I never had any of the toys. And then when it came on Netflix streaming, I said, you know what? Maybe this is the collection that I can go out and I could buy the entire thing mint on card and have displayed. Because it's not a lot of figures. It's about a dozen figures. But it's got a vehicle and a playset, which even then were very expensive. And now, as more than a decade has passed, it's become even more expensive.
Oh, really?
Oh, my goodness. And even the figures, which weren't that bad back then, those figures have jumped substantially as well, which is weird because there doesn't seem to be a lot of nostalgia from people for the Filmation Ghostbusters. People come out of the woodwork to talk about regular Ghostbusters. And the real Ghostbusters animated and all the weird ghost toys and stuff that they had. I'll tell you what they don't talk about, Ghostbusters Afterlife, because why? That shit sucks. But if I were in the market for anything, I think maybe we'll be on the lookout for some Filmation Ghostbusters.
Interesting. Are there any like fun panels or anything like that happening?
They did send a schedule out. I haven't really looked too hard at it. I'm sure I'll dip into some. I know the major guys are doing like a live recording of the podcast on Saturday, so I'll probably be forced to check that out. Actually, I may have to watch the Major Bendy's table while Kinnick goes instead.
That's funny. Do you usually like to go to panels when you do comic stuff like that, conventions, all that stuff?
I really haven't gone to many like conventions where they have all this kind of stuff to begin with. A lot of times it's just the show floor.
Sure.
And you walk around, you check out everybody's tables. The last time I was at PowerCon, I did check out a couple of the panels. They had a new like Kevin Smith type of He-Man panel with the voice actors who did Andra and Orko. So the guy who did Orko was also in the live action The Tick that was on Amazon. Okay. He was Arthur.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So, and he's done a bunch of stuff where he's like the nerdy sidekick. Sure. But so I did that. I went to the cosplay contest, which was unreal.
Right, yes.
We went to trivia night. They had trivia night, and we did that. I came in second in the whole PowerCon trivia. I came in second.
Pretty awesome.
And I met John Cone there, and former WrestleMania legend and WWE Tag Team Champion Nicholas.
Nicholas, so stupid.
That's John's son.
Oh, I know. It's just so funny.
But they were there together, and John took like some really good pictures and video of me in the trivia contest. So always thankful for that. And that was a lot of fun. And it was just nice. Like I felt like in my element, like this is my thing. And I'm meeting a bunch of like-minded people. It's like being a smoker. Like whenever you go anywhere social, you go anywhere for business or whatever, the first people to usually make friends are the smokers because they're all ostracized. Everyone gets kind of put in the corner. And if you want to go have a cigarette, you're there and you're in very cramped quarters usually because it's not the smoking section is not very large, so you're forced to become friends, and you're forced to talk to each other and like, oh, I'm Joe from Florida, Rex from Illinois. I believe there actually was a guy named Rex that I met last
Rex,
time.
What a name, bro. Rex.
We don't have enough Rexes in the world.
We don't. Rex.
JoeMeZ, if either one of us ever has another kid, and I count yours as mine, that way I don't have to have one right now.
Sure, of course.
But if there's another one that pops up, I petition that we name them Rex.
No, but I gotta name it Brock. Like, come on.
Rex Brock Gomez.
That's not maybe.
That's a strong name.
Very strong. I love it. Oh, that is not gonna happen though. You take care of that one.
Thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button, leave a 5-star review. If and when you do, take a screenshot, send it to us over on X. That's right.
Terrible. So bad.
And we will send you an autographed 8x10 of both JoeMeZ and myself as a token of our appreciation. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave some comments down below. That all helps the algorithm, and you're helping us. And we're helping you. We're helping you get through your day, and you're helping us become big and famous and rich and popular. And speaking of big and famous and rich and popular, JoeMeZ, there's an article on Vulture this week.
Oh, what's this?
About one of my all-time heroes.
Oh.
Mr. Chevy Chase.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, what's going on with Chevy, bro?
And we all know Chevy has a bit of a reputation.
Real scumbag.
Usually, whenever you see anything in the public sphere about Chevy Chase, it's not very positive.
Nope.
And this kind of addresses that. And it's like, oh, okay, Chevy's a dick, but did you know?
It's one of
he also made some really bad career choices that led to his downfall as well. It wasn't just him being a dick.
Oh, okay.
So it talks about some of the roles he passed on that went on to become really big roles. The first one is Otter in Animal House. Now, quite frankly, I don't see Chevy Chase in that role. And John Landis, who directed it, also did not see Chevy Chase in that role, but the producers really wanted Chevy. They really wanted to do a Saturday Night Live trio of Bill Murray and Chevy Chase and like the Saturday and Aykroyd, like all in this movie. And John Landis was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. So he convinced Chevy to pass on that. So, okay, that one's a little bit far.
That's not, that's all right.
But then, you know what else he passed on? Forrest Gump.
That's interesting.
As someone who loves Chevy Chase, and Fletch is one of my all-time favorite movies, Chevy Chase does not have that kind of earnestness.
It'd be like he's playing, like he's like doing a bit. Like it wouldn't be like he's really slow. It'd be like, oh, he's like putting it on. Like, yeah.
It would be like him acting like Fletch.
Yeah, I don't exactly. I don't see that working. That's interesting. That's a weird one.
So he passed on that, probably for the better for us anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it would work.
Two other big roles that he ended up saying no to. Now I believe the first one was because of a scheduling conflict, but still, it was on his plate if he wanted it. The Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. I can see that. That'll work with him.
Now, I could see him as it turns out Tim Allen was wonderful in the role.
He's great, yeah. But he could it's very similar with that wise ass, sarcastic, yeah.
And the other one also ended up going to Tim Allen, the voice of Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, him and Tim Allen, they got that same kind of lane. So
100%.
I could definitely see him being Woody. That's just so weird to think of Chevy Chase as Woody.
Well, he would have been Buzz.
Buzz, I'm sorry. It's just like it's so weird to Tom Hanks and Chevy hanging out. That's no. I don't like that. But it would have worked.
That one I think is obviously that's the biggest miss, right? As far as money is concerned, the residuals. I mean, Toy Story.
Yes.
We've already got 4 movies done, not counting specials.
Aren't there like
attractions?
Aren't there like 4 Santa Claus things?
Yeah, but not to the level of Toy Story.
No, it's not to the level of Toy Story. But I mean, he still be getting them checks at least. If he did
but
that.
Those Toy Story checks got to be.
Imagine.
And then the toys with the voices in them, and
and I believe they are making a Toy Story 5. I think
they are absolutely.
Ugh, terrible.
Which don't know if we need, but you know what?
Definitely don't need it. I'm looking to watch it, but
it's the modern spectacle now where people are kind of poo-pooing the series and the sequels. Who knows? Maybe this will be the one to kill Toy Story.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if kids count. I don't know if kids count in that thing because kids like the same shit. They don't want different,
Hey, that's true. But Marvel is, for big kids. You figure if you're a teenager going to the movies, but then again, maybe that demo doesn't even want to go to the movies anymore.
How young you taking a kid to see these Marvel movies? Like 5, 6? To see like Ant-Man, something like,
Maybe not that young, but I think probably like a 3rd grader, I think would be okay.
So like about 8 years old. Yeah. Because I'm like, they're for kids. And if you really look at it, I mean, there's really nothing too crazy in those movies.
No, I mean, every now and then we get a bad word. Like when Captain America says, like, then let's go get that son of a bitch. It's like, even I was like, Captain America's a bad word.
Can he say that? Oh my God. Because I wonder. All right, little kids. I think they just want the same shit over and over. From my understanding, I don't know. We'll find out because there's a new Troll movie coming out. Let's see if that makes big bucks.
Well,
right?
We did have a movie come out recently that we haven't spent one word on this podcast, and it was definitely a kids movie. It was from DreamWorks called Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken.
Shiloh went to see that. We were excited to see that.
That movie's been out for a month now. It's made about $32.
It's on VOD. Like it's been on VOD also for like 3 weeks now. So like it's like trying like, hey, just somebody rent this movie. It looked cute. It was something different, I
saw the trailer a couple times in front of other movies that I was going to see, and to me, it just looked like, oh, it's another cute little kids movie. Whatever. I had no interest in it. I mean, if it shows up on streaming and I got nothing to do, maybe I'll pop it on just to see what it's about. Yeah. But I thought it looked fine. There was nothing about it that I was like,
oh. She said it was all right. She didn't love it. It was okay. There wasn't a lot of action, but like it's like a cool idea because like the mermaid's a bad person. Like that's interesting, right? Like, yes. Oh, that's cool, something different. But they were like, there was nothing to it. It was kind of boring. That was upsetting.
But that movie didn't even stay in the top 10 on the box office charts very long.
No,
so it made very, very little money.
The first week it came out, I think it finished like 4th. Like it did not do good.
And speaking of very, very little money, Gomez, Haunted Mansion.
Oh boy,
already
I can't imagine.
Second weekend under $9 million.
I don't know. Listen. Some movies do make, money in the summer. Look at Insidious, right? That was a summer horror movie, made lots of money. So it does happen, but I think we all agree if you release this, a couple weeks, release it in 2 weeks, I think it makes a lot more money when there's nothing going on and we're getting into spooky season.
See, I mean, we're talking about now week 3 for Barbie and Oppenheimer, both movies, again, with good weekends. Insane. But there was a new number 2 this week, Gomez.
Yes, there was.
We had 2 big releases, but only one of them could be number 2. And that was the Meg 2, The Trench.
Bro, this movie's made over $100 million worldwide, bro. I don't know. People love their fucking giant shark movies. Reviews are terrible.
And the reviews have been terrible. I didn't go see it. Did you see it?
No, I didn't go see it. The review, I was trying to squeeze it in today, and then I seen all these people that I know and love, and then like, man, this Meg movie is okay. I was like, oh, that's upsetting. So I was like, I'll see it.
Now I know what you're saying. Like, where's Ninja Turtles? Ninja Turtles didn't make any money. Well, Ninja Turtles kind of cheated the system a little bit. It was open all week, including last weekend that opened for sneak previews apparently everywhere. It doesn't feel like a sneak preview where it's available everywhere in every town.
Yes.
So they kind of went and got a head start on things. It still finished over the weekend with 28 million. So which brings it up to 43 right now, which is solid. I don't know what the budget was on that movie. But if you tell me 43 million for opening animated Ninja Turtles, let's go with that. I think that's pretty solid.
I guess I don't know what they think because there hasn't been an animated Ninja Turtle movie in the movie theaters. It's usually live action. They do like the CGI kind of thing, So straight up animated,
Wasn't like there was like Rise of the Ninja Turtles recently?
That was Netflix. That's a Netflix.
That was Netflix. Okay.
Netflix, and that movie's good. It's a really good action and stuff. It's good shit. But yeah, so like something like that. It's been a while since the Turtles opened, so I don't know. I don't know what they were expecting. To me, that sounds like not so good.
See, I think it does sound good because I don't think of the Ninja Turtles like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Star Wars, of course, is this giant like megalopolis of a box office franchise. I don't think of the Ninja Turtles like that, where it's like 100 million or bust.
Because I would think the budget's got to be like 100 million. The animation is crazy.
Animation's crazy, and there's a lot of big name actors, whether you know it or not, doing voices.
So like I figure like in the 100 million definitely. So I don't know, man. I gotta see maybe overseas. I don't know if Turtles is a popular thing everywhere. I wonder. I never really looked into that. That's interesting. I gotta look into it.
So we watched that movie this week. We'll talk about it a little later on. But something else I watched this week, Gomez, to follow up on something you said a few weeks ago.
Ooh.
I watched an animated series on Max called My Adventures with Superman.
Oh, you checked it out. Okay.
I did. I was on Max. I was finishing up the Righteous Gemstones. And this came up like, hey, we suggest you watch it. I was like, you know what? Gomez said this is pretty good. I'm going to check it out. Right now, it's done 6 episodes so far. They come out weekly on Fridays. And I got to say, right off the bat, the animation style and the tone of the show, it gives me a lot of vibes for the DreamWorks animated She-Ra series.
Okay, I can see that. I see what you're saying.
With a little dash of the Disney Plus, or I should say the Disney series, The Owl House, which I love.
Look at
And
this, hitting some buttons here.
once I got kind of into the first episode, the Lois Lane portrayal as well as the Jimmy Olsen portrayal feels very much like it was the girl Luz from the Owl House as well as her friend Gus. And it's like we took Luz and Gus and said, what would happen if we had them be friends with Superman? And that's what this show is.
That sounds fun.
After the first episode, I'm like, you know what? I like this show. So I watched all 6 episodes, kind of back to back, and I really enjoy it. And as someone who admittedly does not like Superman, I enjoyed this. It was a little new take on it. They kind of figure out who Superman is within like 5 minutes, which is nice.
Yes.
So I would say if you're someone who's interested in something like this, if you're a Superman fan, I would suggest you check it out. I think it's well worth the time.
Yeah, babe. I've only seen the first 3. I haven't gone back. But yeah, I like it. I like Superman. Superman's fun. When you get into Superman, Superman is a good time. So that's the thing. I understand. I was the same way. I'm like, fuck this Superman guy. But once I like, let me give him a shot. I'm like, he ain't so bad. And this is a good version of him.
I've had my problems with Superman, and especially these Superman movies, and the last couple portrayals of the what was the guy's name who was doing the DC universe?
Zack Snyder,
visionary director, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, baby, Snyderverse.
Now they've really been terrible, and I enjoyed this animated portrayal of Superman. I remember when the Batman animated series was hot, and then they came out with the Superman series kind of in rapid succession. And I remember enjoying that to an extent. And it made me think, JoeMeZ, how come when they say, let's do a Superman movie, they don't say, hey, remember that animated Superman series? Just do that, but live action.
The problem is everyone wants to do their spin on it, right? No one wants to, we did that. So this is my version of it. This is my take on Superman. So
why not just do that?
I know, like take that general idea and then tweak it a little bit. But yeah, give us what we want. That's what we want. And
this is what I, as a big He-Man fan, this is where I get frustrated. Where they're like, "Oh, we want to do He-Man, but we want to do it in the style 300," which was brought to us by who? Visionary director Zack Snyder. And that is not at all what I want. I want them to say, what was really good about He-Man? These couple episodes in 2000X where they fought the Snake Men and they come out of the ground and there was all this cool, like, let's take that and then make a live action. Like, why not do that?
I mean, that's what they do a lot in the movies for the most part, in these Marvel movies and even in DC movies. They've been kind of doing that a lot more lately, where they'll take a storyline, they'll take 3 storylines and kind of blend them together. Obviously, it doesn't always work. Love and Thunder, as we saw, taking 2 storylines that should not be together and you smush them together. It doesn't always work. So.
No, as it turns out, cancer is not very funny. I'm sorry, Taika Waititi. Maybe you and I just have different senses of humor.
Well, I mean, he made a funny movie with Hitler as an imaginary character, so he's clearly got some, some different views on the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, check out that Superman show. It's on Adult Swim. I don't know why it's on Adult Swim. It's not adult at all. It's very kid-friendly, I would say.
Very kid-friendly.
And so it's on Adult Swim on Thursdays, and then it comes on your HBO Max, Max, on Fridays. Definitely check it out. My Friend Superman, right? My Adventures with Superman.
My Adventures with Superman.
Yes, My Adventures with Superman. Good shit. Look, I'm so happy you checked that out, baby.
I did, because I had just finished watching the stream over at twitch.tv/MezMovie, where JoeMeZ was nice enough to stream for us in memoriam of the man we just recently lost last week, Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, baby. I looked it up, bro. I looked on my letterbox. I haven't logged this thing on in like 15 years. I haven't watched Pee Wee in like 15 years.
So as I was watching it, and I'm watching the opening to the movie, and I was like, I don't know when the last time I saw this movie was. It has obviously been a very, very long time. and I probably kept your stream on for 3 showings back to back to back.
I love
And
it.
obviously I wasn't just sitting there but like
Yeah,
I
in
probably
and
watched
out.
this movie 3 times, you know, over the weekend. And I'll be honest with you, Gomez, it's definitely a product of its time.
100%. 100%. I don't
And
know if kids are gonna be like, "Whoa, this is
and I
weird."
can see it's easy to remember why I loved it
Sure.
and why I was entranced by it in the moment. It's also easy to see why I also remember my mom going, "You're really gonna keep on this fucking Pee-wee?"
Sure.
She hated Pee-wee Herman. And
I
when
love it.
I spoke to her over the weekend, I was like, "Oh, I just got finished watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure," and her first reaction was, "Oh, never like fucking Pee-wee."
Oh, I love it. So funny. Hating out
But
Pee-wee.
there's so much in this movie that I'd even forgotten about. And as I'm watching it, like obviously it's all coming back to me.
Yes.
And the story, for the most part, is a little bit disjointed, right? It's kind of bounces all over in certain places, and you get characters coming in and out that kind of don't make
So
sense.
many characters coming in and out.
But it's just so much fun. And like I said, it's definitely a product of its time. It's not something I think would probably keep the attention of children in today's world. But for us, he was the original, he was our Peter Pan. That's the way I look at Pee-wee Herman, where a kind of a generation before us had that Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up. Pee-wee Herman was our Peter Pan, playing with toys, had a cool bicycle, you know, eating Mr. T cereal, doing all the shit that we wanted to do as kids, but being able to do it as a grown-up.
100%. I felt the same way. Watching it, I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, that's right. Oh, I remember. It was always like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember what's coming up. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time watching this. I'm sad that he had to pass away for us to watch Pee-wee, but man, it was great going back to that.
And I even did a little extra credit with this because I went over to Paramount Plus and I said, let me see if they added anything new over on old Paramount Plus. And it says, first suggestion, Big Top Pee-wee, 1988.
Oh, now you got to do it.
Now I got to do it, right? Big Top Pee-wee was actually produced by Paramount, which I didn't know. I just assumed it was Warner Brothers since Pee-wee's Big Adventure was Warner Brothers. But because it was a different studio, it doesn't have like the Pee-wee's Big Adventure soundtrack, because obviously that's property of Warner Brothers now. So there's all new music. What a weird fucking movie, man.
Yes, it is.
I really don't remember. I probably watched it. Like I said, not something I watched a lot as a kid, not even close to Big Adventure. Big Adventure was also on TV all the time. Big Top Pee-wee almost doesn't feel like a Pee-wee movie.
I get that.
So if you've never seen it, it's on Paramount Plus if you want to. It's now Pee-wee Herman is a small town farmer with a fiance, but like a traveling circus comes to town and he finds himself falling for the trapeze artist girl.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a disjointed rom-com where he's cheating on his fiance. Like he's going on dates with this other girl, like lunch dates. And at one point they're like sitting by a babbling creek, what the fuck? Like this creek, and it's supposed to be like this majestic looking thing. And he's there doing his Pee-wee thing, but he's like laid out like kind of like a romance novel cover with this girl Gina in his lap, only for the fiance to walk in on them and be like, hey, what's going on? And it's like, that doesn't feel like a Pee-wee thing to me.
Definitely not, especially after just watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where he just is like repelled at any thought of.
He's so uncomfortable around even talking to Dottie as anything more than a friend. When let's call a spade a spade, Dottie is fucking cute.
Yeah,
and it's like, you know what? We all want a Dottie in our lives. And now this guy gonna just pull this fucking chicanery, cheating around on his girl Winnie, who seems nice enough. I don't know if she's controlling or whatever, but she makes him an egg salad sandwich.
Egg salad sandwich, baby.
Which obviously everybody's favorite meal. We love egg salad.
Love it. It's the best.
And don't get me wrong. Do I think maybe Gina's the new flavor in town. Yeah, I can see why he's got that little bit of wandering eye, but still, you're Pee Wee Herman, bro. You ain't supposed to be pulling this shit.
Nah,
and it's like this movie goes nowhere. There's the hot dog plant, and then he's trying to find a bit in the circus. But
what's the point of the movie? Like, well, the circus comes and then what?
No,
like,
they put on the circus, and it's like that's it.
Is there like a hurricane or something?
That's how the circus comes into town.
Okay.
So there's like a hurricane, so Pee Wee has to hoard up all his animals, put them in the basement, and then when he comes out and the wind is blowing everything, there's just this giant circus on his farm.
Interesting. Okay. So I just remembered. I don't remember then anything that happens. I just know, and he has the pig that talks. Hey, Pee Wee.
Yes.
What
Vance.
are you doing? Hey.
It's his lab partner. They do science together.
I love it. It's so stupid. Oh.
This is not a good movie. And I think it's good that it's not a good movie because it puts into perspective that I can still have objective opinions about things, even when I might be blinded by the nostalgia goggles.
Did you do any I gotta see, like, what was was this Pee Wee's idea to make a sequel? Like, was it pressure?
I didn't look that far into it.
I gotta see. We gotta look that up because I'm interested to see.
I think coming off Big Adventure, people must have been foaming at the mouth to do a sequel. Like, right?
But then he does a TV show. He does the
but
movie.
He has the TV show.
So it's like, that's
and
like
if
the
it was that
kinda
big of a deal, how did it end up at Paramount when Big Adventure was at Warner Brothers?
Yeah, so why would they not have the
so
rights?
I don't know if this is just something that caught on because of repeated viewings, whether that be cable or network TV, or if it was something. I don't know if Big Adventure bombed at the box office originally.
Interesting.
But like I said, I didn't look that far into it.
We gotta do some Pee Wee research. It's very interesting stuff here.
Yeah, the mystery continues.
I love it. Tune in next week, folks.
Tune in next week, like Secret Invasion. Tune in next week for another Pee Wee centric conversation.
Oh, we don't talk about Secret Invasion no more. We're done.
Thank God.
No more games. No more games. Secret Invasion is done.
Come on, that was a good game.
It was the best.
A lot of feedback on Skrull or Finnish Hockey Player. In fact, Tommy Sapienza wrote in to say he would love to see a back-to-back TV special with Skrull or Finnish Hockey Player, either before or after Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
Bro, Righteous Gemstones. You finished? You caught up on the season, baby?
Yeah, all good.
Woo, I really enjoyed this season. I thought this was an excellent season of TV here.
Feels like a series finale. Isn't this supposed to be it?
They said no. They signed on for another fourth season.
That's what I thought. But the way they wrapped it up made it very much feel like this was the end.
I think he just likes to wrap it up in case. But he says he wants to do this. He'll do 20 seasons. He loves these characters, and he loves just like being in this crazy world that until they tell him no more, he's good. He has no plan like, oh, we're going to end on here, or the dad's going to die or something. Like, no, he's got no idea where anything's going. I'm down with that. We'll keep it rocking, bro. I can hang with these folks all the time.
And they're letting you do it. God bless you, right?
It's the truth, right? You get to hang with your friends, write this silly ass fucking show. What's better than that, bro? I couldn't imagine.
I don't know if it was the finale or the episode before, but when they actually get into the game show of Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers, the intro for that show had me in legit tears. I was laughing so fucking hard just watching Walton Goggins do his thing as Baby Billy, bro. And this big intro, it was fucking spectacular.
A couple weeks ago, right, we talked about TV characters, some of our favorite TV characters. Uncle Baby Billy is got to be up there, bro.
Uncle Baby Billy's terrific.
He really is so fucking good, and I think he could go toe to toe with any of your favorite TV characters. This guy has got scenes and moments. He's just great. Walter Goggins is just wonderful. I love that man. I've loved everything he's done. He is fantastic.
Whenever I see him, he's that guy to me. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. This is the first time where I'm like, oh, that's Walton fucking Goggins, man.
So
this character has brought him up a level in my book. He's gone from that guy to That guy.
That fucking guy. Yeah, he's not that guy for me because he was on The Shield. He was one of the main characters on The
Yeah.
Shield, and that was my show. And also, he was one of the main characters on Justified, which is one of my favorite shows of all time that I think not enough people talk about. It's one of these shows that I think
Never even watched it.
When you're talking about some of the best TV, I think Justified is up there, bro. It is fantastic.
He had
Love that shit.
one episode of Community where he came out.
He's great in Community.
He gave out Pierce's sperm as his final will and testament.
Yes, he was. He is fantastic. He's funny. He had a show on CBS. He had his own little sitcom. Didn't work. I think it was called The Unicorn or something, where he's like a single dad, like he's like the perfect man, and he's single for some reason. Really weird how some of these
he just has one of these faces though that when you look at him, I don't know that he's like a good guy, but he definitely looks like he's up to something.
No, he's the perfect character actor. When he comes in, he plays some crazy villain, right? He was like the bad guy, and I think the second Ant-Man movie, he was one of the bad guys.
Yes,
like,
yes.
You know, and like he just comes on, he chews up the scenery, and he goes about his day. Your movies are always better. It's always better when he's there. Walter Goggins, folks. If you don't know who this man is, check him out. He is, he's going to go up there on your list. God damn, Uncle Baby Billy.
What else did you get into this weekend, Gomez?
So I watched a lot of comedy the past 2 weeks. I watched one last week and I watched two this week. We're going to go through it fast because this one, it wasn't a good week of comedy watching for me.
We did it, but we're not proud of it.
Yeah. You know, like I'm trying things out and it wasn't working. I'm going to start with, there was a Netflix one, Mark Norman. You ever heard of Mark Norman?
I have not.
So he has a special called Soup to Nuts. So I know about him, like, I mean, this has even been a couple years, but like he, towards the end of like Opie and Anthony, like he was one of the comedians that were coming up and he would go on the show and stuff. He has a podcast with another comedian, Joe List, called Tuesdays with Stories, where they just tell stories about the road and stuff like that. So he's kind of popular guy. The comedy special, it was okay. I've never really seen his stand-up, just his storytelling is good, but his stand-up, it was okay. You know, it's not the worst, not the best. You know, I guess if you like him, I guess he's doing what you like, you know, but to me, it's like, you know, I there's nothing special about him. I think that's a skippable one. Then, when I turn on my TV, you know, it always shows you the Amazon stuff, whatever's on Amazon.
Yeah.
One of those things. Yeah. So I get whatever brand we got, Vizio, whatever the fuck it is. So I noticed Jim Gaffigan had a new comedy special.
Okay.
So I said, you know, he's popular. I said, let me check him out.
I'm not really a Jim Gaffigan fan.
So I was going to say, it's not like I'm a big fan. Like, I don't really know, like, where I know him from. Like, he's always just like a comedian guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's ever been like on a show.
I was going to say maybe like the roasts or,
you know. So like, I just know of him. I know he's there. I know
he was in the most recent live action Peter Pan movie that came out on Disney Plus a few months back.
Oh, was he? Okay. Yeah, so it's like he's like that guy, right? He's like, oh, that's a comedian guy. He's always there.
He reminds me of a modern day Jim J. Bullock.
Jim J. Bullock, what an old reference. I understand it, but
he was always on Hollywood Squares. Put up a picture of Jim J. Bullock on Hollywood Squares right here.
You got it. Oh, so Jim Gaffigan, this is called Dark Pale. I was not a fan of this. I don't know if this is a good stand-up special of his. I don't know if he's been slipping. I don't know. To me, I was just I didn't think it was funny, his jokes. I didn't think what he was talking about was interesting. He had like a diarrhea bit that just went on like way too long, that just killed any momentum that he had. It was just, I was not feeling it. I didn't even get through it. I think it was an hour. I probably watched about half of it, and I said, I don't think this is going to get any better. I can't imagine he's got some banger joke at the end that's just going to slay me. So I said, fuck this. So I switched it off, and I noticed there was another comedy special on Amazon. This is a comedian I only know by name. I've never seen what he looks like, heard. I don't know nothing about him. It's Nate Bargatze. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but I know that he's like a very popular thing. I know the name more than I know the stand-up, the comedy, you know? So I said, let me
Okay.
check it out. He's supposed to be a hot thing. I'll say it was good. It was funny. He's I guess you say family friendly, like he's not telling no
I
cuss
got you.
words. He's not really telling anything risque, but he's just telling funny stuff. And I thought it was pretty good. This is called, what's it called here? Hello World, it's called. This is on Amazon Prime. If you're gonna check out a comedy special, check out this one. I think this guy's good. I'm a fan of his. I would definitely check out some of his other stuff here.
Okay, so Jim J. Bullock, for those who don't know.
What else did he do besides Hollywood Squares?
I know him from Hollywood. When I first saw Hollywood Squares, it immediately became like my favorite game show. I loved Hollywood Squares. But he became like a star when he was on Too Close for Comfort in the 80s. And then obviously his profile expanded because of Hollywood Squares. He was a semi-regular on Alf as Neil Tanner. I didn't know that.
Really? Okay.
And he was the guest host of a special episode of Super Sloppy Double Dare in 1989.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Oh, man, because they had Mark Summers play against the announcer, Harvey.
So that's a good episode, bro.
That sounds awesome. We got to find this episode.
I got to find that episode.
And then they brought in Jim J. Bullock to host it. Afterwards, he did some other stuff, stayed in the public sphere a little bit. Obviously not as big a platform anymore, but I think people may know him as Prince Valium from Spaceballs.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And then he's in a montage during Kissing Jessica Stein from 2001.
Kissing Jessica Stein, wow.
And from 2004 to 2007, he had a recurring role as Mr. Monroe, a teacher at the fictional James K. Polk Middle School on the Nickelodeon live-action sitcom Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
I've heard of this show. That's something I've seen come up, but I don't know nothing about it.
And he's got credits, just up and down. He's always doing something. So he stayed working, which is nice. Good for Jim J. Bullock, and it's good to remember some people.
Oh man, you watch anything else, Joe?
So I like I said, I messed around with HBO Max this weekend, and I got recommended that Superman show. I said, "Oh, that looks good." And after I was done with Superman, it recommended me a documentary.
Ooh.
And the documentary is I like documentaries, right?
Yes, love it.
We talk about enjoying or remember some people. It's good to remember some things.
It's good to remember.
It's good to still remember. Not everybody gets to.
We're old, things start slipping. Memories are up there.
So this was called Glitch, The Rise and Fall of HQ Trivia. And this hit me right away because HQ Trivia was a fucking shooting star, man. It was here. It was everywhere. And as fast as it came in is as fast as it went out. So this came out this year. JoeMeZ, I know the answer to this because you and I talked about it. But did you watch this documentary?
I did. I've seen this pop up a few times. It came out like a week or two ago, and it's popped up, and I'm like, ooh, I keep going, ooh, because like you, I love me some HQ trivia. I'm like, ooh, and then you said, I'm gonna watch this. I said, perfect. Now I have a reason to finally push this play button. Here we go. So I watched it too. I was very excited to check this out.
What a fucking story. I gotta say,
crazy.
This documentary is great because of how ridiculous the story is behind this company.
It makes for a good doc. Yes, it's very interesting. It's like very twisty, turny. Like what they did, what they're doing, what it's perfect for that. It's set up perfectly.
So just to give you guys the abridged version, there's two guys, Russ and Colin, and they start the app Vine in 2012. Now, I was not someone who liked Vine. I was not someone who enjoyed Vine. You guys have heard me pontificate about how much I hate TikTok, and that very much that holds true, even though I've grown to accept that it's part of the culture. Vine was like, I didn't even pay it any fucking mind. I didn't even take the time to shit on it. But they come up with Vine. Vine was very fucking big.
Huge.
Once again, for a very short period, because they turn around, they sell it almost immediately to Twitter. They probably didn't get it even close to as much money as they should, but Twitter buys it before it really catches on.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they buy it, they basically shut it down.
So stupid, bro.
I don't understand that decision. I didn't understand it then.
We didn't understand it then. Remember, we were all like, what the fuck? Everybody losing their minds. People were making just money hands over fist. And then all of a sudden, oh, this app is closing in a week. It's like, what the fuck? Could you imagine?
I remember, like, that was the new thing. It was the microblogging. It was the Vines. Yes. And that was competing at the time with, do you remember?
What was the thing?
Tout,
that's right. Yes.
WWE's own Tout. I touted from Gomez's wedding.
Oh, yes, that's right.
when I was doing my entrance as the best man, I got special backstage scoop, and I was touting it to nobody. Nobody used that app. Just me and John Cena. That was it. I mean, and if you want two people to use your app, I think me and John Cena are a good two to start with.
I don't know how it went out of business.
The problem is when no one else joins after that. But these guys sell Vine. Twitter shuts down Vine, so now they're pissed because their company shut down.
Yeah.
They got to come up with something else to do, and they come up in 2017 with HQ Trivia. And for those of you that weren't around for the HQ Trivia craze, and believe me, it definitely was a craze.
Oh, yeah.
It was an app on your phone that was a live game show where you could win real money. Was it a lot of money? No. But it was the fact that you could open your phone, you'd get the notification, HQ Live going on in 3 minutes.
Yep.
I will be the first. Me, Gomez, a bunch of our friends, we would all play. Everybody playing tonight?
Yep.
You know, and you had your friends list, and you would see where they did, and you got 10 questions, and it was general trivia. You'd get a sports question, a celebrity question, a history question, a geography question, but you had to finish 10 questions, and then whatever the prize pool was for that game, say it was $1,000, that would be split evenly by however many people would win, which of course led to the winnings usually being around 3 cents.
Yeah. It was not good.
And then you couldn't cash out until you had accumulated something in the realm of $20. So, but you would get so excited that you won 3 cents because it was like a bragging rights thing.
Yeah, bro.
And I would be out, like in public, at a bar, at a restaurant, and when HQ Trivia was going on, in the moment, there would be people all over, stopping everything, pulling out their phones. That part of the documentary is absolutely true. HQ Trivia started out as something that was a couple people playing, and then all of a sudden blew up into this supernova that it felt like everybody was into.
Yeah, it's true. 1 million people playing a little silly app game every night live. It's crazy, bro. Insane.
And as fast as it came in, is as fast as it went out, because after they hit that million,
crazy.
It's I don't know, and they give a lot of reasons as to why. Like, people got tired of it. There was no innovation. There was no what's next. It didn't follow up like with other things, give you other games to play, keep you on the app longer, because the app was basically useless except for like 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, just to play the game. Yeah.
And eventually, probably late to the game, they started adding other shows. There would be HQ Sports out of nowhere.
Yeah, Words.
And then HQ Words.
Loved HQ Words.
But by that point, it felt like the HQ light had dimmed significantly
100%.
by that point. It did give us Scott Rogowski, who I had no idea who Scott Rogowski was before this HQ app. And when he was on, he just seemed like a very seasoned.
Yeah, he was great at it.
He was so good. And that's brought up in this documentary where he became the face of the app, and that pissed off the guys who created the app because they wanted to be the face of the app.
But why would you think the host of the show is going to be the people? Like, it don't make no sense whatsoever.
And as they're saying it and they're speaking about it, I understand what they're saying, and I get like what they're saying, but to be that delusional, like some programmer guy,
the programmer
is going to be the fucking face instead of the guy who's engaging and who's funny and is calling himself the quiz master and quizzing my pants and all these fucking jokes. Like, it was funny shit. He was excellent in that role, and it was like they just couldn't wait to get rid of him. And then like one day they did, and it was just like, oh, Scott's not here anymore. And it was like, what?
It's true. I do get what you're saying. Like, you understand, you built something, you want the recognition, but you get your recognition with like the tech bros, with the industry people. Like, that's where you get your record. Everyone knows like, you did that.
We all know Merv Griffin created Wheel of Fortune, but yet I still think of Pat Sajak and Vanna White.
Yes, but that makes your brand grow more and more. Like, if you had a terrible person being the hostmaster, it's over. Forget about it. Because sometimes they have guest hosts and it'd be like, I don't like this person. I would not play. I'd be like, oh, I don't like this person.
Yeah, like there would be some hosts too where I'd be like, oh no, I'm not here for this one.
Like, oh, I'm guest hosting today. I'm like, oh, I'm not playing. See you later. It's not easy. That's a hard thing. Entertaining like that is just in front of a camera, just like, like just focus.
It's one of those things, and obviously we're guilty of it too, right? Everybody has a podcast, but it's one of those things where just everybody assumes they can do it until they actually try to do it.
Yes.
And believe me, there's people that don't like us, but there's people that don't like a lot of people. But I will argue that JoeMeZ and I are a hell of a lot better at this than a hell of a lot other people.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. 100%.
Either way, I found this documentary to be very, very entertaining. For those of you who do remember HQ Trivia, it's funny to think that's already 6 years ago, and it probably came in and went out all in 1 year.
That's the thing, is when you look at the timeline, you're like, yo, this is really like a couple months, like of really like the peak was like a couple months, and then it was just straight down. It's really crazy. Really crazy shit.
JoeMeZ, can we hit some music for this? Why not?
Oh, okay.
Are you a man? A double main man? Are you a man? A triple main man? A man? A quadruple main man? Are you our man? Are you our man?
Joe, Glitch. Was the Rise and Fall of HQ? Is that the name of the
Rise and Fall of HQ Trivia?
Where does this fall on your main man standings, Joe?
A lot of fun. You get a lot of good background information, not just on the highs and lows of the success of the app, but on the people behind it too. Some of it is very sad. Some of it is very entertaining, and one of the people behind the scenes is very much a jerk off. And when it comes to these stories, it really does help when you have a baby face and you have a heel, because you can't have good if you don't have evil, and you don't know what good is if you don't know what evil is. And here you very much have a distinction, or at least in the way the story is being portrayed, there is very much a distinction of who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And because of that, because they're making it nice and clear for you, it's very easy to follow, and it's very easy to get emotionally invested in this story. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 3.5 main man, 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm there with you, baby. 3.5 sounds like a good number here for this. It's very interesting. We were interested because we played this. This was so right away. We're like, oh yeah, I want to hear about that shit. And I remembered like some shit with the guy dying. Like I was like, oh right, didn't one of those guys die? Some shit like that. So like it was very interesting to see. Love it. It's crazy to think, like you said, in a year, how something could be so hot and just non-existent. Like don't even exist. There's no one. It's like a footnote in history. It's just poof, gone. Crazy.
Legitimately went from being everywhere to being nowhere.
Gone. There's I remember a couple years ago, The Ringer put out a podcast about the rise and fall of HQ trivia. It's called Boom or Bust. It's 8 episodes, and I wonder if they get a little deeper into the same kind of stuff. I might have to check that out. That's interesting.
Maybe.
You got me into. Look, I'm a little documentary boy coming up here. Love
the
it.
doctor of documentaries.
Oh,
The doc of documentary.
So we watched a lot of stuff here, Joe. Huh? We had a good week here.
Yeah, we did. What
stuff.
A full episode, Gomez.
But wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
We got
what a goof.
More. We got one more thing to talk about here,
I got accused of having a touch of Alzheimer's in my old age. Ric Flair, come on down here. Those are the fourth horseman.
Of course, Joe. Come on. We got to talk about the big release. I don't care about what was number 1 or 2 or
different kind of 4 horsemen.
Oh,
4 turtlemen.
Of course.
Teenage
Turtles.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, the new animated flick out there. A lot of Seth Rogen, a lot of Evan Goldberg, and with this one, we got a little bit of Paul Rudd. Very new and innovative take on the Ninja Turtles. As IMDb puts it, the film follows the Turtle Brothers as they work to earn the love of New York City while facing down an army of mutants.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. To the point, you know. There's not a lot to spoil in the movie, of course, but yeah, straight to the point. Boom. Love it. Oh,
so Gomez, you're a much bigger Turtle fan than I am. And I enjoy the Turtles, but they were kind of at the, I don't want to say the end of my childhood, but I was already kind of moving on into like real world stuff, like playing sports more actively when the Turtles started getting hot. You're a bigger Turtles fan. What was your level of excitement going into this?
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, when it comes to my childhood, it's Ninja Turtles, it's Power Rangers, it's wrestling. Those are like the 3 horror movies would be number 4. Those are like the 4 pillars of my childhood there. So
no
Ninja
MJF,
Turtles,
no.
That Jungle Boy really does it for me.
Real quick, I watched that fucking Cody documentary.
Oh, I didn't get to watch it yet. What do you think? Is it good?
I don't know Cody. I've never met Cody. I fucking hate Cody. Apparently, Cody is a top guy only because he just kept saying he was a top guy until people finally got sick of it and were like, fine, just shut the fuck up. We'll let you be a top guy. And it doesn't even get into the part where he cured racism. Because that's an AEW film, so they won't put that in. It's like, the man fixed racism.
That's important. That's important. You can't be a documentary is definitely now I don't want to watch it. It's incomplete. What else are they leaving out here? Come on. Fucking Cody.
I feel like I come on this show every week and I gotta find some way to shit talk Cody, but it's just like, bro, like stop it.
Did you watch SummerSlam? Did you see Cody wrestle Brock? Ooh.
I did not.
It was good. It was a good match. One of the good matches on the show. The show's very long. It was 4 hours and 10 minutes.
See,
the main event.
We've had the conversation before. Like Cody, it's not like he's bad.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Everything he does is kind of fine and forgettable.
Yeah, it's true.
Like he spent 3 years in AEW doing what?
Nothing.
Like I know he broke the Triple H's stage one day with a hammer. Like outside of that, I can't tell you what else he did.
So he did this thing where he he challenged for the belt, and he said, if I lose, I'll never challenge for the belt again. And he did the thing where he's like, I gotta stick to the stipulation. So he never challenged for the belt. So he kind of just was hanging around.
What was he supposed to do there?
Because he had not. So he went after the TNT title for a little bit. It's just okay, but yeah, he had nothing to do when you book yourself into the corner like that. It wasn't as long as he's the champion. No, never again. No matter who's the champ. What are we doing, Cody? Fucking
But But today, Gomez is excited about seeing a new Ninja Turtles movie.
Yes, the Ninja Turtles, the pillars, the 4 pillars, Ninja Turtles. Yes, I was extremely excited for this. Do I love everything Ninja Turtles? Nah, those Michael Bay movies, they're okay. I think the second one's a little better than the first one, but it's okay. Do I keep up on all the series? No, but I do like to pop in just to get a feel of, what kids are getting, what kind of turtles they're getting. That last one, Rise of the Ninja Turtles, I thought it was a good series. The good animation had some good stuff. So, I love me some turtles to this day. So I was very excited for this, bro.
Yeah, I would say I wasn't excited. I'm not against seeing a new Turtles movie, but it's not like I was foaming at the mouth waiting for one. If anything, I was excited for the people that were excited for it.
Sure.
Because there's an awful lot of Turtles fans out there, and people were really excited to go get their new Ninja Turtles toys, their movie toys, and they were posting all over social media about getting tickets and going to see a new movie. So I was very happy for those people. It's nice to get stuff you're excited for.
I agree 100%. If you're excited for something, enjoy it, please. Enjoy it.
So I'm looking at this and I'm going, we got a very... To me, I don't know if this has been done in any of the other series. I don't catch up with a lot of the newer series that comes out. Every now and then I'll watch an episode here or there, but I can't tell you these things inside and out. So to me, I'm looking at this as a very kind of new telling of the Ninja Turtles. They're actual teenagers this time. The animation is significantly different than anything I would have expected. All the turtles, in addition to having different colors of the headbands and stuff, they all look physically different, and that's somewhat new to me. Every turtle is distinctively physically different, and that's all stuff that I was like, oh, this makes it cool to me. Like, that's what is giving me the excitement as this movie begins, is now I'm seeing a different version of Ninja Turtles that doesn't shit on the legacy of the Ninja Turtles that I knew and grew up with, but is just a different interpretation.
Yeah, so everything is pretty much new. They've never done turtles where they're little like this. Like, this is a big deal. That's one of the big selling points to me, especially, is to see the teenage part really amped up. Usually they're kind of like frat boys, they're kind of a little older, right? Like 18, 19, they're kind of bros like that. Here they're youngins, so that was cool. The animation style, they're going for the kind of Spider-Verse kind of flow, so that was exciting. The turtles being different looking, that's kind of a newer thing. It's happened a few times now where they try to make them more distinct. Like, they make Raphael like a little bigger and bulkier. They make
he's the
Donatello
heavy,
skinny. Yeah. So
Donatello's
like
the nerd. Michelangelo's really like the kid kind of.
Yeah. So they've played up into that. So that's something I do like that they do that. The turtles should look different, like besides just the color. So that's good. All these things are like, that makes me want to see it. It's not the same old shit.
First time, at least to my knowledge, where the voice actors portraying the actual turtles themselves were kids themselves.
Yes, that was the selling point too. They said, if we're gonna be teenagers, let's get some teenagers. And I thought the voice acting was great. They sounded young. They talked like teenagers. They were great. I thought that was a great part of the movie.
Now, like I said, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg kind of came up with this and wrote the script and stuff. And I read an interview with Seth Rogen where he was talking about how he's done voice work for a lot of animated movies and series and whatnot. And when you do them, you're kind of by yourself in the studio just reading lines.
Yeah.
And he feels like it loses a lot, especially for someone like him who comes from that comedy world of improv and reacting
playing off of someone.
So in every case that they could, they would bring in as many actors as they could into the studio and do a lot of that reacting and playing off each other and doing improv and seeing what happened. And I think that shows in the finished product here. We get a very fun conversational movie. Like I said, not something I was excited for coming in, but as I probably within the first 15 minutes, the visuals and the tone of it all and the attitudes of the characters I'm being introduced to, I'm pretty locked in, like really early on in this movie.
Oh yeah. I wanted to see it in 3D. That's my only regret, is I said, I think this movie would look really cool in 3D. But I took Shiloh, so I was a little nervous to be like, her first 3D movie. I'm already pushing it, trying to make her watch Ninja Turtles that she don't give a fuck about. But she's being nice and going with daddy. So I'm like, oh man. But after watching the movie, I was like, I think the 3D would have really been killer for this movie. I really do. The animation style, I think it would have really flowed with that. Because the animation is, it's doing a Spider-Verse thing, but at the same time, it's not. It's very different.
Yeah.
It's so I love that. As soon as I sat down and started, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Just by watching the animation, the way it's flowing, beautiful shit.
You said the big selling point is that they are actual turtles. For me, the big selling point in the movie is obviously not something that's promoted going in, but it's getting to see all these characters that I only know as action figures as a kid,
sure,
but never really remember them being in the show. So we get Mondo Gecko, we get Genghis Frog, Leatherhead, Wingnut, Ray Fillet. These are all toys to me. So good. And I had them all.
Yeah.
But I don't remember them at all from being in shows or being in movies. So to me, that's where I'm like, oh my God, that's Ray Fillet. I remember Ray Fillet. I had that Ray Fillet toy. That's what's popping me big. And
that's cool.
for kids, for us, for our generation, that wasn't like an unheard of thing. Masters of the Universe did that, where they would just come up with a figure, put it in the toy line just to get it out on shelves, and then maybe that character would appear in one singular episode,
Yeah.
And so to have these characters play like real roles in what was going on and have a different storyline rather than it just be, oh, here's a Shredder, Ninja Turtles, plot of the week type of thing, it became very entertaining for me and very, we got our little Shredder thing at the end there, but it just made for a very enjoyable experience getting to see all these characters that really popped me that I just wasn't expecting to have such meaty roles.
I was nervous at it. That was probably the one thing I was nervous about was that, it's built on all these mutants being in the movie. So I'm like, well, these are all bad guys. Like, they're going to fight all these guys. Like, that's a lot. It's like 10 bad guys in the movie, But the way they handle it, I think it's perfect. Everybody gets a little bit of shine. They don't overdo anything. No one overstays their welcome, I feel. I think they did a great job handling all these characters in this movie here.
Yeah, I agree. It just, everything kind of just worked. And obviously you could tell the people making the film have a great respect for the lineage of the Ninja Turtles and what these characters are. And they respected the history of the stories and kept it moving. And just because it's different don't mean it's bad. So I ended up walking out of here probably, I don't think I loved it as much as people who are hardcore dedicated Ninja Turtle fans, but still as someone who is very much a casual, I walked out of here having a good time at the movies.
I think if you have if you're like into turtles, if you I want to see this because I like the Ninja Turtles, I can't imagine you not having a good time with the movie. I mean, I'm sure obviously there's always outliers, but I think if you're going, yeah, I'm in the mood to watch a Ninja Turtle movies, I think you're gonna walk out going, that was a fun Ninja Turtles movie. Like, that was good because it hits all the notes. You get the character work, you get April O'Neil doing a thing, not too much April, the focus is on the turtles. That's who you come to see, and that's who you get. Even though there's all these other characters, the turtles are the focal point, and the voice work that they do together, they're young little brothers, and they do a great job of really portraying that on the screen. Them just being silly, just like like a little 12-year-old would do. Annoying, like, yo, bro, relax. We outside. We are just being silly, just saying the same shit. Come on, take a video, April. Shit like that. So I just,
and this also clocks in at a very tidy 1 hour and 39 minutes. So the story is constantly moving. There's not a lot of downtime. There's not a lot of, even the dialogue stuff it's good. It's good dialogue stuff, and it's laying groundwork for what's to come. You never feel like you're in a lull at any point. It just feels like everything's moving, everything matters, everything's going somewhere.
Yes, the action scenes are great. Their first action scene when they're trying to get April's bike back, fantastic. Fighting all those bad guys, good shit. Learning to work together, do stuff. So good. The Master Splinter fight scene is fantastic. You know, it's played by Jackie Chan, and you get like a Jackie Chan fight.
Rumble in the Bronx fight scene.
Like, you know, there's a point where, you know, because Jackie Chan's all about using the environment, whatever. If he's in a construction site, he's using a ladder, he's using a hammer. So he's in the lab, there's a chair, he's doing shit with the chair, bouncing off the walls. I was like, this is a Jackie Chan fight I'm watching here in this Ninja Turtle movie. Awesome. Great shit, bro. Woo, what a picture. Woo, baby. Loved it. Let me hit the music here so we could really find out how much we love this.
Are you a man? A double main man? Are you a man? A triple main man? A man? A quadruple main man? Are you a man? Are you a man?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Where is this falling on your main man standings?
Hey, for something I had zero expectations for going in, walked out of there having a great time at the movies, and never, ever underestimate the power of just having fun. And that's what this movie gave me, a very fun time. Like I said, I've seen other hardcore dedicated Turtle fans coming out of this like it was the most amazing thing they've ever seen. I don't think it's that, but I still think it's really good and something I had a really good time with. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 main man, 3.5 stars.
Baby, I love this movie. I had so much fun from the start to the end. I just love being with these characters. I love these versions of the characters. I hope we get more with these characters. So good. I'm going to give it a 4. Quadruple main man. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It might be my favorite Ninja Turtle movie, to be honest with you. Thinking about all the Ninja Turtle movies, this one is fantastic. I think Donatello, I think, was the best one. The voice work, I really liked what that kid was doing there. And just, man, what a picture. If you like Ninja Turtles, better run to go see that shit, bro. See it.
Put some money in the bank for that movie.
I think I'm gonna go see it again in 3D. I really want to check out. I've been to a 3D except for Avatar because you have to see it. But other than that, I ain't seen no regular ass movie in 3D in forever. And I think I might have to try this out because this is a special movie. I can't wait. I'll be buying the Blu-ray. You know me, I gotta get my physical media. Gotta get it. Got it. Hey, bro, you never know. Who knows, right? What is this? It's gonna be on Paramount Plus. Fuck that, bro. Get out of here.
Maybe you can watch Big Top Pee-wee on there too.
Never that. Fuck that. I'm gonna block that movie.
Don't do that.
So it never even comes up in my my suggestions. Oh goodness. So that was the big release this week. We had a great time with it. Silly me. I thought Blue Beetle came out this week. I thought we had Blue Beetle coming out this week. So I was like, oh, we're gonna go to the movies.
I'm hearing some not so complimentary things about Blue Beetle.
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I can't imagine it being great. I'm sure it's not terrible. I'm sure it's just a fine. Like, I'm hoping it's like 90 minutes in and out, nice and easy, right? Because we like that boy. We like our
I was gonna say I want to see it do well just because I like the kid from Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
I want to see him have a like a nice opening here.
So that comes out next week. This week, the big movie, Joe. You ready for Gran Torino, right? Gran
Turismo.
Turismo. Fuck that, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's a real movie. It's got what?
Hopper from Stranger Things and
Legolas. From
him, right?
He's also in
Pirates.
What's his name? Will Turner, right? That's his name in the Turner, something Turner, right? In the Pirates movie. Jack Turner. No, he's Jack, so I think it's Will Turner. Don't tell me how I remembered that motherfucker's name in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Orlando Bloom.
That is his real name. Yes,
married Katy Perry's husband.
Katy Perry's husband. There you go. Oh goodness. So yeah. So I don't think we're gonna be running to see that movie unless you really into car racing. You want to see some car racing, Joe?
I live my life a quarter mile at a time, but not this week. Bro,
unless my cars are going into outer space, I don't give a fuck. Get that shit out of here. Going around in the track. For what? Get out of here. So no. So we didn't have a wheel ready, but I think Joe came up with a
I
good
had a
idea.
suggestion.
Joe had an idea.
So every now and then I like to look at what was hot 30 years ago, right? We talk about
Sure.
the 30-year rule a lot. So when JoeMeZ said, hey, I fucked up, we don't have anything to watch, I said, don't worry, baby girl, I got this. I said, next week, how about we watch the #1 movie at the box office 30 years ago today, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford, The Fugitive.
Ooh,
It is streaming on Tubi. It is streaming on HBO Max. It's on Amazon Prime. There are plenty of places to check this out. So it's perfect for the 30th anniversary. I think this is a movie everyone's got an opinion on in some form or fashion. It was a huge movie at the time, and then I think it became even bigger with repeated TV showings, and it was big on VHS. This was one of those VHS tape that like your aunt and uncle always just had laying around, was The Fugitive. So let's watch The Fugitive. Let's all come back next week ready to talk about, no, it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
I don't care.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck, bro. Let's just turn around. We'll figure it out later.
So I think this is cool. Something we can all watch. Something for all of the ages of people that listen to the JoeMeZ podcast.
We love a good adult movie. A good 90s adult cinema.
And it's streaming in plenty of places. Makes it easy for everyone. So
there you go. The Fugitive was 1993?
1993.
1993. 30 years. God
what a
damn.
year.
What a year. So that's next week, Joe. That's good. So we got something for next week. That'll be fun. I think we'll have fun.
But maybe we should finish up this week instead.
Oh, that's a good idea, bro. Let's hit some music.
It's now time for the big finish.
All right, Joe. It's big finish time. Let's spin that wheel.
Oh, boy.
Let's see what we're going to get today.
Big money, big money. We're making blue.
Oh, it's a good one. Okay.
Ooh.
It's a hard one, but it's good. Today's big finish, folks. Taylor Swift song. Shit. It's going to be rough. Here we go. I don't even know.
There's so many.
I'm scared to pick. I'm going to get yelled at for missing something.
Even if you're someone who is not a Taylor Swift apologist or enthusiast even, like, you have to admit, the girl's got a lot of fucking songs.
Bangers.
Man, I don't even know where to begin. I guess if I had to pick one, I would say Mean. That might be my #1 because it's something that we would play on the jukebox at the bar a lot, and you could sing along to it and feel like you're being a little country, but also a little bit rock and roll.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Mine. I think we're gonna put that on the list here. I'll do number. I don't know if it's #1, but I'm just trying to pick 3 right now, and then maybe we'll switch it up. But mine's gonna be on the list. Let me see.
I got Blank Space #2. I really like it. It's upbeat a little bit, and they did a really good commercial for the NHL Stanley Cup Final one year, where they show the Stanley Cup, and it's like, I got a blank space, baby, because you get your names written on the cup when you win, and I'll write your name. Perfect.
That's good. That's a good one. That's good marketing. Very smart. I love that shit. I'll do Love Story. Gotta do Love Story.
Okay.
All right.
And my third one, I'm gonna go. You know what? I like this song a lot. It's probably one of my most listened to Taylor songs, even though I don't think it's even close to one of her most popular ones. but I'm gonna go New Romantics.
It's not bad.
There's just something about it. I really enjoy it. Really upbeat. It's a toe tapper. It's good for road trips and stuff. So New Romantics, number 3.
All right, I'm gonna go. Man, I do like this. I think I'm gonna go All Too Well. We'll do that.
Okay.
You know, I hear it a lot in the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, like, these songs I hear on rotation in the house. They stick with me here.
I mean, listen, Taylor Swift better be fucking good if my niece wrote a paper about her instead of me when it came to do a paper about a famous person. So if you're telling me those are the options and we ended up going with Taylor Swift, this better be someone who's incredibly accomplished. And whatever, like I said, the girl's got songs. I'm not upset about this at all, by the way. Do I sound upset, Gomez? I'm not upset.
No, you're not upset, baby. You don't get upset about silly stuff like that.
It's bullshit is what it is. Thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Remember to smash that subscribe button. Leave a 5-star review wherever it is that you're listening to us. Follow us on all the social media at JoeMeZ, Instagram, X, all the big hitters, the heavy hitters. You can follow all my personal stuff at The Joe Shoes, ProWrestlingTees.com/Joe Shoes to get a fancy Captain Shoes t-shirt and help support. Or you can head over to YouTube.com/Joe Shoes, see another just released coffee creamer review from the Aldi brand, from the supermarket Aldi. They have their own brand coffee creamer called Barissimo. So I tried out their French vanilla brand, and we'll see how does it compare to the more well-known brands out there, the Coffee Mates and the International Delights of the world. So go over, check out that video, leave a like and a comment, and hit that subscribe button.
I'm the Gomez154, Instagram and X. That Twitch stream, it came in handy this week, folks. You never know when I'm going to go live, so follow me on twitch.tv/MezMovie. I might show up with that double dare with fucking Mark Summers versus the announcer guy.
Jim J. Bullock.
I'm telling you, I'm on the lookout, so that might be popping up soon.
Oh, my God. Remember, guys, we're watching The Fugitive. It's streaming on Tubi, Amazon, and HBO Max, so definitely check that out and join the conversation for next week. But otherwise, Gomez, it's time to make like Tom and cruise.
Peace.